Are you having a moment where you're feeling annoyed? Annoyed because something is important to you, and in this moment you're unable to carry on to do because the actions of others are on the way. And the actions of others can take the form of not cooperating or engaging in behaviors that affect your peace or flow or tranquility, or demand something out of you that in this moment you're unable to give, such as attention. Things that can disturb our peace could be substances, the smell of the smell of substances if you do not use them, sound if it's not in line with the sounds we want to hear and the volume that we want to have, or even attention. Sometimes we are in the middle of doing something and the interruptions does disrupt the flow. And equally, sometimes we need to take a moment to regulate ourselves, and someone needing us. We might feel under stress because our brain is trying to process something and we haven't quite catched up with it, and someone else is trying to get our attention, our help, and we feel that we don't have enough arms, enough energy to go around. We just want to be left alone to gather our thoughts, to gather our emotions, to gather some strength. And if we are being interrupted by noise or smells or things that disturb our peace, it can feel irritating. It does feel annoying, especially when we feel hopeless about it. We might attempt to ask, to address if appropriate, and sometimes we don't even have the energy, and sometimes we don't quite know what we need, and sometimes we don't know if what we need is reasonable, if you are being too sensitive. Regardless if it's right or wrong, if you have the right or not, like we have the right to our peace and someone else has the right to engage in activities that brings them peace, and that can take so many forms. At times peace means silence and stillness. At times peace means engaging in activity that distracts us from our negative thoughts. At times peace might even actually be peace from those negative moments through a form of active distraction. So if you have two people or more in the same room with competing needs, it can be a little tough. And when we can remove ourselves from the situation. We can ask, we can communicate, we can try to compromise. Let's have 5 minutes of this, and then we have 5 minutes of that. So that both can have the needs met. Or could you please be quiet for a minute or two? Or can you please try that in a different room? But often others can't even come on board and cooperate, either because they are dysregulated or they are too immature to understand, or they might not even care. And sometimes we don't even have the energy to remove ourselves in that moment. It takes too much physical and at times mental energy to remove ourselves from this situation. So when that happens, we have two options. We notice that we are getting annoyed. We notice that we're getting frustrated. We notice that wherever we turn, we just seem to get blocked or something else gets on the way. If we can remove ourselves, if we can ask, if we can communicate, if we can find a compromise as solutions, then let's engage in that. But if we can't do in this moment anything about it, if we don't get hold of ourselves, then there's a risk that annoyance, and if we fixate on the annoyance, and if we harbor thoughts of, oh, there you can't believe this, or you're this and you're that, and you're putting this negative label on others' behaviors, there's a strong chance that annoyance will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and even can quickly escalate to anger. And then the way that we express anger depends on our energy levels, our mood, our vulnerabilities. And if we are going through some struggles, the more we have on our plate, the greater chances of our anger escalating quicker and more out of proportion, because we are already stretched out, because our brain is already stressed out. And then once you go through that anger, automatic reaction, either physical or verbal, or escaping, running away, then after that, there's also consequences of our behavior. And often, because the anger is out of proportion, we feel shame. We feel shame of the way that we conduct ourselves. And it doesn't feel good. So before we let things escalate to a new level, let's take a moment to sit with this feeling and see if we can tame it. I'm going to use the I, so it's easier to connect. I feel. Or I am feeling. Close your eyes for a moment and identify the feeling. I am feeling. And I can be angry. Or I am feeling annoyed. I'm feeling frustrated. And now I'm going to leave some silence so that you can complete. Pause the video if you need more time. I'm feeling because, and I'm going to try to describe If you need more time, please pause the video. As we try to describe what's going on, it helps our brain calm down, because we're going from our emotional brain to our thinking brain. We are using words to describe the way we're feeling. And if you can put it in writing, it works wonders. It helps alleviate. Now we're going to notice where we feel this emotion of frustration, anger or annoyance. Where do I feel this emotion? And what is my impulse? When I feel this emotion, in this minute, right now, what is my impulse? Let's ask another question. What are my automatic thoughts right now about this emotion? Let's ask another question. What is it that I want in this moment? What do I want in this moment? What is it that I need in this moment? What is it important to me right now? Let's take an exhalation by closing one of the nostrils and exhaling out through the other. Close and exhale. Let's take a breath into the belly and slowly out. Another deep breath and breathe out through the mouth. Inhale, exhale, blow. Inhale, nose. Exhale through the nose. We can inhale and count to 4. Hold, out, count for 4, and exhale for 4. Can you do a mental count? Breathe in, hold, out. Well then, when we are trying to do something and something gets on our way, so we have that interruption or are feeling blocked, does not feel good. And if you have a constant interruptions, and if you really need to engage in something because it's extremely important and something is blocking us, and we are automatically perceiving a loss, we are more likely to have feelings of anger. However, even though others may and do contribute with their behaviors or not doing certain things that you expect them to do, we're still responsible for our reactions, for our feelings. I might feel annoyed with someone else's behavior, and I might be and feel justified and right in it, but I am still responsible for the way that I react. I'm still responsible to the things I say and do as a result, regardless if I'm on the right, regardless if I have been negatively affected. I have a right, but also have a responsibility. I have the right to give myself safety, physically, mentally, emotionally, and I take steps to do so by removing myself from the situation and taking myself into safety, by asking for help, by addressing the situation in the moment or afterwards if appropriate. And our question in the moment is this worth losing my energy? Let's ask a couple of questions. Is this worth me losing my healing energy? Because remember, the body uses energy from healing and repairing and digestion to direct into the muscles so that we can run away or fight. Is it worth me fighting this battle? And remember, when we are dysregulated, it takes a ton of energy. Not only while we feel angry, but also the recovery. That affects our mood, affects our sleep, affects our interactions with ourselves and others, affects the perspective and view we have in life, our life and the world at large. Affects our motivation to engage in pro-social, healthy, positive behaviours. Yes, we have the right to our feelings and emotions, and the brain quickly takes the information from the past and automatically reacts is our reaction proportional to what's going on? And often it would say yes, because often if it's an accumulation, a constant, yes, we might be right, but is it worth losing our energy? Is this worth losing my energy? Is this worth losing my sleep? Is this worth losing my smile? Is this worth losing my good habits? Is this worth losing my motivation? Is this worth losing my humour? Is this worth losing my well-being? Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm going to sit with the emotion for a moment or two, just observing it. We might notice some discomfort in the belly area, in the gut, or the heart, or the throat, or the mind. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's repeat some reminders. My health is more important than this. My mood is more important than this. Breathe in. Breathe out. My sleep is more important than this. Breathe in. Breathe out. Deep breath in and slowly out. What about our choices? We are unable to control others. We may influence, but often if we are feeling angry and irritated, chances are that in the moment we are not getting the best out of ourselves, others, and the circumstances. And often when we are engaged in something that annoys us, and it gets the worst out of us and others behave in ways that add wood to the fire, that only escalates. And sometimes they're not interested in coming on board, or it's not appropriate. So we need to leave others outside of our control, because we can't have their life experience. We can't think for themselves. Even I struggle to engage at times. Even us have difficulty influencing our behaviour at times. But it's our chances of making others behave the way we want just places us in a position of feeling helpless and powerless. So it is important to focus our energy, attention on the things we can control and can influence. Let's take a breath. And slowly out. We can get hold of ourselves by simmering it down, calming ourselves down without breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. What would I like to do with my frustration, irritability and anger right now? Do I want to show it to others? And why do I want to show it to others? Is it because it just automatically happens? It's a learned behavior that I absorbed and observed, and I don't know any different? Is it because unconsciously I'm trying to ask for help? Because others can hear me and come to my help and rescue? Is it because I want to control the behavior of others and manipulate the way they do? I want them to engage in a certain behavior because it benefits me in this moment. It might even benefit them too. Am I trying to influence their behavior? Breathe in. Breathe out. Am I trying to exert my power to show that I am the leader here? I am the one in charge. Am I trying to demand respect and fairness? Breathe in. Breathe out. Am I trying to protect myself, my energy, my limits? breathe in and breathe out. What are my choices right now, in this moment? And what are the consequences of each choice? I can shout, punch, destroy, kick, hit, and my consequences are that I make this problem worse, that I hurt others and things, and that I end up feeling shame and regret my behavior and feel like a terrible person. I can engage in any impulse and behavior I wish to, and also get the consequences. I might feel automatically better for a second or two, for a minute or two, and worse afterwards. But I can engage in these behaviors. I have the choice, and I can choose if I want to. But I also have the awareness that my choices have negative consequences for me, others, and the circumstances. Breathe in, breathe out. Do I have any other options and choices? Perhaps not my automatic impulse and reaction. Could I patiently sit with this a little longer until I calm down? Could I shake it all off? Can I take myself from the situation until the cortisol comes out of my system and I think clearer? Can I just vacuum the house or go for a walk? Can I excuse myself? I need a moment to calm down. I need some time to calm down. Can I just remove myself outside for a moment or two to take deep breaths? Breathe in. Breathe out. The automatic impulse might feel like the natural thing to do, but because it just feels natural in the moment, it's not necessarily the best for our best interests. Often, getting our body to calm down, our mind to clear, and thinking of our options yields better results for us, others, in the circumstances, now, mid and long term. the automatic reaction is good and it is empowering if we are in a real life threatening situation where our survival is literally at stake. And if that's the case, then yes, run away or fight for your survival. But those are extremely rare situations. And more often than not, we're not on those situations. Our brain thinks it is, but we are not. Breath in. And breath out. It is a little annoying that we have to wait with our feelings until they dissipate. And the quickest way of them dissipating is through some form of physical movement. So, since the body has released this energy in order to address the situation, what can we do with this energy that we are feeling in our bodies? What activity is most productive in order to physically feel better? Doing a couple of stretches and movements, and even running on the spot, moving really rapidly, releasing that energy through our muscles, our legs, our feet, our hands, or even standing or running on the spot exercise. Can even quickly vacuum or go for a brisk walk. Or if our energy levels are more limited, more compromised, we can do some yoga stretches, the downward facing dog, or even kneeling down with our toes together, hands stretched, and our forehead on the mat. And taking deep breaths. We can even lay down and bring our knees to our chest and hug it. Or lay down on our bellies and just allow the body to rest for a minute or two. Breathe in. And breathe out. What behaviors do I want to engage that is in line with the person I want to be, with the values I want to live, and that has a positive impact, neutral to positive right now, mid and long term. And that is best for me, the situation and the relationships involved. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sometimes we have to take one for the team. It does not mean not standing for ourselves and our needs, but if we are in a situation where we cannot get others to come on board, then we need to focus on the things we can do. Remember that these too shall pass. It is only a temporary moment. It's only a moment of imbalance. Breathe in. Breathe out. In this moment, we are only focusing on calming ourselves down, on grounding ourselves, on getting hold of our horses so that we don't make this situation worse, so that we don't create other problems. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's move into radical acceptance. I accept this moment as it is. It is what it is. Breathe in. Breathe out. I don't need to like it, but I can tolerate it. Breathe in. Breathe out. If I have choices, I don't need to tolerate. But if I don't have choices, then I can learn to tolerate. What choice brings me the greater good? The greater good for me, for this situation, and for everyone involved. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do I want to use my frustration, irritability, and anger right now? Do I want to use my impatience right now? Or are things better solved if I stay calm and patient? Am I going to feel better if I carry on feeling impatient and irritable and angry? Or am I going to feel better if I choose to calm down and stay patient? Am I more likely to engage in helpful solutions if I stay patient? Or am I more likely to engage in helpful solutions if I stay impatient? Breathe in. Breathe out. Just giving ourselves a time for the body to subside, calm down, so that we can think clearer, so that we can see a greater range of solutions. Breathe in. Breathe out. It is what it is. I can get through this. Feelings are not facts. Breathe in. Breathe out. And we're going to allow our body to just take in the time that it needs. If you can go for a physical walk to disperse that cortisol, even if it's just a short 5 minutes, or even just on the spot. If you can't in this moment, then just allow your body to rest and trust and have faith that with the rest that the body needs in this moment, in time, you'll have an impulse to move. You'll have an impulse to do something different. Remember, can't control others, but we are responsible for our reactions. So let's engage in responses that are helpful to us, and if we can, helpful to others and circumstances. We want the others to be the example, the higher person, and sometimes they're not able to. So we can only give that gift to ourselves, others, and the circumstances. And if we can't be our best, we can be the best we can in the moment. And have compassion for our struggles, for the struggles of others and the circumstances. Breathe in compassionately. And breathe out. We often are on our worst because we don't feel our best. And that's the same for others. Breathe in. Breathe out. May I be illuminated with peace, love, and helpful solutions for me, for the benefit, for my health and benefit, and the health and benefit of others. Because together we win. Breathe in. Breathe out. I wish the best for me, and the best for you, and the best for the circumstances. Breathe in. Breathe out. May I be at peace. May you be at peace. May the circumstances be at peace. Breathe in. Breathe out. May the best of me see the best in you, and the best in this circumstance. Breathe in. Breathe out. May I see past this struggle, this moment of weakness, and continue to see our good, my good and your good, and the good in this situation. Breathe in. Breathe out. May I stay connected with humanity. Humanity in the knowing that all humans have their light and darkness, their positives and negatives, and that everyone is more than one behavior, positive or negative. Breathe in. Breathe out. I choose to connect myself with the best person I can be in this moment, with a higher vibration. Breathe in and breathe out. I sincerely hope that you are feeling a little bit calmer, a little bit more in control of your automatic impulses and reactions, so that you can make a healthier and more balanced choice, so that your reaction is more in line with the values you want to live and the person you want to be. You can do this. Just a moment. I believe in you. Just a moment, and this too shall pass. You'll be okay. If you need extra help dealing with these struggles and finding solutions, speak with a health professional if needed, and spend some time either asking others or reading about or listening, finding solutions so that we can solve, so that we can avoid, so that we can minimize the problems, so that we can direct the energy towards something that is more helpful and productive. You'll be okay, and I know you're doing the best you can, so well done you. And that just the fact that you're taking some time to calm down, it shows that you care and you want to be your best self. So well done you. Love from my heart. Big hug. Remember, we all struggle. We all struggle. And we all at times behave in ways that we don't want to. But the more we can support each other, the greater we will all feel. So in this moment I'm able to help. And there'll be other times where you'll be able to help me. So thank you.